Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So I have been off the internet a little bit, dealing with life and whatnot. And upon my return, I went on TikTok to mind my business and I saw this stand-up guy that was talking about a gentleman who jumped the judge. And I was like, what? This happens in real life? There's no way. So then I exited out of TikTok and I went on X to again mind my business. And there it was, this video of this gentleman jumping the judge. Before I show you the clip, let me read this. It says, on Wednesday, a Las Vegas man jumped over the courtroom bench and attacked a judge. Deobra Deobra Redden. Deobra Redden is a 3-time felon and was preparing to be sentenced without probation by Clark County District Court Judge Mary Kay Holthus before he attacked her. Before the attack, Redden's attorney asked Judge Holthus for probation. Holthus replied, I think it's time he gets a taste of something else. On this occasion, Redden was in court for attempted battery with substantial bodily harm. On April 23rd, Redden had threatened to bust the kneecaps of another man, resulting in substantial bodily harm. Clark County Court District Attorney Steve Wilson said in a statement, thank God for the heroic efforts of those who came to her aid, especially her marshal and her law clerk. Without them, the situation would have been much worse, as the defendant exhibited extremely violent behavior, and I am confident there will be consequences. All right, now here's the video.
I think it's time that he gets a taste of something else because I just can't with that history. In accordance with the laws of the state of Nevada, this court... Hey! Whoa, whoa, hey! Hey!
Oh, man, you're good, stop. Don't do this.
Please.
Hey, where's Mary Kay? Is she okay?
That is so crazy. In the thing, it says this man is a 3-time felon. How did he get to 3 and still roaming the street? And my thing is, this man strikes me as a mental health patient and a 3-time felon. How did he get to 3 and why is it still out there? Like, if he's a mental health patient, why isn't he committed? And if he's not a mental health patient, like, he should not have to get to 3. Like, why is he still roaming the streets? And why was he sitting there without handcuffs? Like, this man was in there to be sentenced because he beat up somebody and it resulted in substantial bodily harm. Why was he sitting there? And I'm pretty sure that's not his first offense because he's a 3-time felon. Why was he just sitting there with no handcuffs, just like a regular court person? Like, why was he just sitting there with no handcuffs? I don't get that. And this lady, poor lady, she could have been extremely hurt. And like, also, she moved a little too slow. And I'm not saying, like, I don't know her age exactly. And I don't know. See, this is what I'm about to make, like a black versus white comment. Don't come for me. But like, black folks, we're just so used to like certain things. Our reflexes, like one look from this man would have had me in the other room. And the judge was just like, probably she just wasn't expecting, I don't know, maybe not maybe, I don't think that's something that happens all the time. And she just was not expecting this man to jump over her desk like that and come for her neck. And it was just so horrible to watch. And the people that were there, they had such a hard time grabbing this guy. And I don't know what these people's day-to-day looks like, but like, you're in a courtroom and I feel like they were just a whole bunch of jello. They had no they had no strength. They could not withhold this man. Like, it took a number of them to like finally get him off. And like, there was a guy that was like throwing punches like a little girl. Like, what is this? It took them a while to get him off this woman, of this lady. Like, he should have never, first of all, been able to jump over there. And then when he did, they should have situated him a lot quicker, a lot sooner than when they did. Like, we didn't brought no tasers to work that day. We couldn't tase him. You know, I'm not saying to anybody, but a good tasing could have helped. I feel like we need to do a better job at taking care of mental health patients. A lot of time people go to jail when they should be in a mental institution, and vice versa sometimes. And this man definitely belongs in a mental institution, and you know, at some point in time he needs to be sedated or something, because that's not a jail patient. That's not a jail patient. That's a mental health. Commit the guy into a mental health institution and do not let him out under any circumstances. And then when he's done from the mental institution, then he can go to jail. I feel like we need to do a better job at, you know, assessing folks and sending people to the right places, because to me, send them to the mental institution and let them get the help that they need, and then send them to jail to go serve their time. Because if you did the crime, you still got to serve the time. I don't care if you are mentally stable or not. If you did the crime, I'm going to send you to go get the mental health that you need. Then you got to go over onto the jailhouse and serve your time. That's the way I see it. You know, I could be wrong. I'm not saying that I'm not wrong. I could potentially be wrong, but we need to do a better job, because this was crazy. This was so ridiculous to watch. And I'm like, how did he even do that? How did he even like jump, like the way that he looked like he was possessed. He looked like he was not human, and I would have been just so terrified. Like, I'm talking about the judge's slow reaction. I probably would have frozen, because that was just ridiculous. That was not a human situation. This man was possessed, and he looked crazy, and he sounded crazy. You know, if you guys are not going to like do the proper assessment to send people where they actually belong, can you at least put them in handcuffs and chains when they go to their court hearings, or when they go for sentencing? I hope he gets the help that he needs, and he also spends the rest of his life in there, because like I don't want to roam the streets with someone like that. I don't want my kids roaming the streets with people like that. And I know like it's easier said, because I know that's not my family member or whatever, and I'm like, oh, you probably think differently if it was your family member. Probably, but still, if that was my family member, you would still reserve the right to not feel okay to roam the streets with someone like that. If that was my person, you would still reserve the right to be like, I don't feel okay to roam the street with this person. And I would have to be okay with that, because although that's my family member, they're still a threat to you. They're a threat to me. Heck, if you're gonna do that, if you're gonna behave like this, how do I know that you're not gonna do this to me? You're not right in the head if you're gonna behave like this, meaning that you could do the same thing to me, if not worse. So I'm saying I don't think we should be roaming the streets with people like this. I don't want my children roaming the streets, coexisting out here in society or in community with people who can commit such an act. Like, this man is a violent man. He's a violent man, and he does not belong in the streets with the rest of us. He does not belong in the community with the rest of us. He's too violent for that. It's a safety issue. And we keep wanting to coddle everybody and just protect. This coddle culture is annoying. It is annoying. Like, they do not need to be out here with the rest of us. Anyways, let's jump into some of these comments and see what folks were saying. Somebody said, dude flew like Superman. I know, right? He needs to get serious time for assaulting a female judge. Absolutely. I mean, or a male judge, because he could have done that to a dude too. Because most of the judges, they're not like young studs. You know what I mean? Like, it could have been a dude or a female. They're usually not in their crime. They're usually older people, like older women or older gentlemen that are sitting there with their little glasses, like looking up over their noses or whatever. It could have been the same aftermath if it was a dude, because it would have been an older, frail gentleman that could have been sitting behind the bench. So either way, it could have still been bad. So he needs to go away. Somebody said it's a big deal when she gets attacked, not so much when it's everyone else. Huh? What? Okay, these are the people that I can't with. Like, you need to go rent out Madison Square Garden and have all the seats, because you're just being ridiculous at this point. Somebody else said prison for life. I mean, I agree with prison mental health counseling. Like, somebody needs help. Somebody said the clerk. Somebody said the clerk with some very feminine punches, all out of breath as well. No, seriously, he was ridiculous. The way that he was punching, it was just like, what, dude, what are you doing? What are you doing? He looked like not even a feminine. He looked like a little kid, just like trying to punch a grown adult in the leg. That's what it looked like. It was just so ridiculous. I'm like, what is he doing? Ugh. Somebody else said, why did they trust the criminal to behave like a law-abiding citizen by allowing him to sit unrestrained as if he was just in the audience? Why were the court officials not appropriately armed with tasers, clubs, etc.? That's what I'm saying. Like, why was he not chained? Usually, maybe I watch too much TV, right? But usually when I see them on TV, because I ain't never faced one, and I hope I never have to, but usually from what I see on TV, they usually have them handcuffed and chained. So why was homeboy allowed to sit in this courtroom without being in some sort of restraint, so that when, especially for the charges for which he was there, why would you not restrain him? He's a violent person. He has a history of being violent. He was there to be sentenced for a violent crime. So why would we allow him to just sit in the courtroom and not make provisions just in case he decides that he's going to lose his temper, as he has proven time and time again? It makes no sense to me. Anyway, someone else said, no one knows how to do a chokehold. Dude is not that big. I agree that he was not that big. But then again, look at the people that were like right next to the lady. Like, no one was equipped to handle anything. No one was equipped. And I'm just saying, like, this is where I'm just so confused. It's like, you guys were looking at this man. I don't know. Again, I don't know how court proceedings go. Like, is the judge the only person that looks at the file of that person that's about to be sentenced? Because if all of y'all are somewhat aware of the case, yes, you're not doing the sentencing, but wouldn't you need to be aware, like, who's coming into the court? Am I speaking out of my ASS? I don't know, but I just assume that they would have some sort of an idea as to who's coming, like who the defendant is, so that we know how to appropriately move. Like, no one was prepared. And this guy is a 3-time felon, and he is known for committing violent crime on people. Like, he's known for busting people's kneecaps. Why were we not prepared? Why was he not chained? Why did it take so long for y'all to restrain him? Barely. It was just ridiculous. Somebody said, watch, he'll plead not guilty to what we witnessed here today. Ironic that he goes and does exactly what he's there for in the first place. Exactly. How interesting must you be? You're at the court defending yourself because you committed a violent crime. And then you're going to go and commit a violent crime in the courtroom because they sentenced you. You feel like the judge was so wrong to like not want to grant you bail because of what you're being accused of. And you think the best thing for me to do is do exactly what I'm being accused of that she does not want to grant me bail for. Does that make sense? He's not right in the head. That's what I'm saying. But anyways, that was crazy. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. And please, please, please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I will see you guys in my next one. But until then, I hope to see you in the comment section. Bye.